Hey there, and welcome. I'm so glad you've joined me today. I want to talk about something that I believe is absolutely vital, not just for today, but for every day we get to live: keeping our minds positive. We all know that life can throw some curveballs as we get older. It might be physical changes, or maybe just the shifts in life that make us look back and think about everything we've experienced. But here's something I want you to remember: your brain can work just as hard to stay positive as it has in the past. I'm sure you've heard the saying, "You're only as old as you feel." Well, it's true. The more we train our minds to focus on the positive, the better we'll feel no matter our age. That's what I want to share with you today. 6 simple mind tricks that you can use to help stay positive and feel better, both in your mind and your heart. First, let's talk about something we all do: thinking about the past. I know it's easy to get caught up in memories, whether they're happy or not so happy. It could be a mistake you made, something you wished you'd done differently, or even a regret you've been carrying around. But here's the thing: when we get stuck in those thoughts, we're not giving ourselves the chance to grow. Our minds get trapped in old stories that don't serve us anymore. So what can we do about it? One trick to break that pattern is what I like to call redirecting your thoughts. Let's say you start thinking about something that happened years ago, something that makes you feel down or frustrated. Instead of letting that thought spiral into a negative place, try this. Think about something good from the past. Maybe it's a wonderful vacation you took, a time when you laughed until your stomach hurt, or an achievement you're proud of. It could even be a simple moment, a quiet walk in nature, or the joy of spending time with loved ones. By redirecting your thoughts to something positive, you train your brain to seek out the good. And over time, you'll begin to notice that these positive thoughts come to you more naturally. You won't feel as stuck in the past because your brain will have learned a new pattern, one that looks for the good rather than the bad. Now, I know that might sound a little too simple, but trust me, it works. It's about creating a habit of focusing on the good things even when your mind wants to dwell on the old stuff. If you practice this every day, you'll find that it gets easier and easier to shift your thinking in a more positive direction. Another powerful trick is to practice gratitude. I know, it sounds like something you might have heard before, but let me tell you, there's a reason why gratitude is so often recommended. When we express gratitude, we shift our focus from what's missing in our lives to what we already have. And that's a huge shift. It's all too easy to get caught up in what we don't have anymore or what we wish we could change. But when we take a moment each day to really think about the things we're thankful for, our minds start to rewire. We begin to look at life from a place of abundance instead of lack. It doesn't have to be anything big. You can start by simply being grateful for a warm cup of coffee in the morning, a phone call with a friend, or even a beautiful sunset. Just pause for a moment and feel the gratitude for those simple things. Over time, you'll notice that you feel lighter, more content, and less burdened by negative thoughts. Another mind trick that can really help you stay positive is the way you talk to yourself. Now, I don't mean in some magical or mystical way. I mean the things you say to yourself when you're faced with challenges or when you look in the mirror. Often, we are our own harshest critics. We might say things like, "I can't do this anymore," or "I'm too old for this," or even, "I've never been good at this." Sound familiar? Here's where the trick comes in. Try changing your self-talk. Instead of saying, "I can't," try, "I'll give it my best shot." Instead of, "I'm too old for this," think, "I might not be as fast as I once was, but I've got experience and wisdom on my side." When you speak to yourself with kindness and understanding, you'll start to feel a difference in your attitude. Your brain will begin to believe these positive affirmations and will start looking for ways to prove them true. It's easy to be kind to others, but often we forget that we deserve that same kindness. You're doing yourself a huge favor every time you speak positively to yourself, even if it feels a little strange at first. But the more you practice, the more natural it will become, and the more confident you'll feel. So far, we've talked about redirecting your thoughts, practicing gratitude, and speaking kindly to yourself. But there's one more thing I want to mention that's just as important: your environment. You might not realize it, but the people and situations around you have a huge influence on your mood. When you spend time with people who lift you up, who encourage you, and who bring out your best, it's a lot easier to stay positive. On the flip side, when you're surrounded by negativity, it can be draining. That's why I encourage you to think about the people you spend your time with. Do they make you feel good about yourself? Do they support you in your goals and dreams? Or do they bring you down with constant complaints and negativity? If you find that you're surrounded by negative energy, it might be time to make some changes. You deserve to be around people who make you feel happy, loved, and valued. But it's not just about people, it's about the places and activities you choose to engage in as well. Think about how certain places make you feel. Do you feel calm when you're in nature? Do you feel energized when you're out doing something fun? Find those positive environments that make you feel good and make time for them regularly. Whether it's a walk in the park, a visit to a museum, or even just sitting with a good book, these positive environments will help train your brain to focus on the good rather than the stress or negativity that can sneak into our lives. I know it's not always easy to stay positive. Some days are harder than others, and that's okay. But with these simple mind tricks, you'll be able to shift your thinking in a way that helps you maintain a positive outlook no matter what life throws your way. I hope these ideas have given you something to think about. Remember, positivity isn't something that happens overnight, but with patience and practice, you can train your brain to see the good in every day. And trust me, you've got this. You've already proven how strong you are by living through everything you've experienced so far. Staying positive is just another step toward creating a life that makes you feel happy, fulfilled, and energized. So keep practicing those positive thoughts and remember that each new day brings with it the opportunity to start fresh. You're doing amazing, and I'm so proud of you for taking this journey toward a brighter, happier mindset. See you soon.